One of the best parts about playing through Elite Redux multiple times is discovering new Pokemon that are normally considered mediocre but are actually super strong. You never know which Pokemon will end up being the MVP of your team. With every Pokemon receiving buffs and multiple abilities, there are a ton of great ones, but some are just much better than others. In this video, I will show you 5 Pokemon that you might have looked over but are very good to have on your team. Maybe one of the most slept on Pokemon in the game and one of the most dangerous non-fully evolved Pokemon is Ursaring. No need to ever evolve it into Ursaluna because Ursaring is more than enough. Stats wise, not much has changed, but a very important buff is increasing its speed from 55 to 75. Its attack sitting at 130 is very good, especially throughout a majority of the game. Its pairing of abilities is how it becomes top tier. First, let's go over its innates, which might be one of the strongest 3 innates I've ever seen on a Pokemon. It keeps its Guts ability, increasing its already great attack stat by 50% when statused. It's also great that it doesn't have to worry about a burn ending it immediately. It also retains the ability Quick Feet. It's very similar to Guts, but increases its speed by 50% when it has a status. It won't be affected by the speed drop from Paralysis. Give it a Flame Orb, use Protect, and instantly has a Choice Scarf and a Choice Band without being limited to one move. It's just so busted. Facade is stab and has its power doubled as well, basically one-shotting everything. Shadow Claw is there to stop ghosts. If the opportunity is there, you can use Swords Dance over Protect and nothing will survive a hit from it. Its final innate really helps it survive more. Fur Coat halves damage from physical moves. It can also help bait the AI into accidentally burning it. Ursaring's 3 innates greatly increase its power, its speed, and its bulk. It's so good. Intimidate can be run to shut down a physical attacker immediately. Predator can be used to heal up some of the damage taken from its burn. The best ability though is Tough Claws, essentially giving it a free life orb on contact moves. There are so many fights where Ursaring can take out 3 or 4 Pokemon with ease. It's truly a Pokemon you could keep on your team throughout an entire playthrough. Arboliva is a real problem to deal with. The stationary plant is not scary on the surface, but can easily become unkillable. Its stats are nothing special, but it's decently bulky, especially its special defense. It's not a fast sweeper by any means. Where it becomes dangerous is with its pairing of abilities. I've talked about it plenty of times before, but Big Leaves is just a fantastic ability, combining multiple at once. Getting berries back and moves always acting as if they're in sunlight is really nice. Sunlight multiplying its speed by 50% doesn't do much for it, but hey, it's there. What's really overpowered is combining Harvest and the ability Ripen, as getting citrus berries back while they are healing double the amount of health is very hard to deal with. If a Pokemon can't one-shot it, then it simply just can't kill Arboliva. On top of that, if she gets hit one time, Seed Sower will not only set up grassy terrain, healing it more, but will inflict them with Leech Seed. After each turn, about 75% of its health is being restored, all of which has nothing to do with the move it's used. It still gets to use moves like Solar Beam or Giga Drain. It can use Strength Sap to cripple a physical attacker. Overcoat already makes its special defense that much better. Arboliva is not going to completely take over the game, but if you play your cards right, it will absolutely be a great tool for your team. I'm not sure what they were thinking when they made Ceruledge, but they created a monster. They didn't mess with its stats at all, and it still remains at 125 attack. Its speed stat of 85 is not amazing, but trust me, it's not an issue. Instead of giving it weak armor like in the main games, they gave it speed boost. Every turn getting faster and faster, quickly becoming a real problem. It's not really fragile either. Battle armor not only blocks crits from taking it out, but it also reduces all damage by 20%, giving it more turns to speed up. This alone is not what makes it deadly. It's the fact that it also gets Moxie, giving it a +1 in attack per kill. With Speed Boost, it basically gets a free Dragon Dance. Ceruledge can just avalanche with these boosts and quickly run through teams. Counterplay is really difficult as all of its Keen Edge boosted moves hit twice thanks to dual wield, each hitting at 75% damage, netting them 25% more power. Focus Sash Pokemon are cooked. Its signature Bitter Blade can restore any health lost early on before it becomes unstoppable. Shadow Claw, Guillotine, and Leech Blade are all great Keen Edge moves it can run. Ceruledge is such a great Pokemon to throw in a team, and it can help you through some of the more challenging fights throughout your playthrough. Persian is certainly a Pokemon I've overlooked. I've never been a fan and I've never really used one, but they've added things to it that make it really scary to go up against. Starting with some significant stat changes. Attack being raised from 70 to 85, and special attack being raised from 65 to 105, while its speed remains at a high 115. Right away, the first hurdle is knowing whether or not it's a special attacker or a physical attacker. It's not a bad special attacker, but its physical set is where it's most dangerous. Crits have always been a huge part of its game since Generation 1, and now it has the ability Sniper, so they're much more effective, increasing their power by 225%. But crits are so rare, so why is this a good choice ability? Well, it also gets the Perfectionist innate, where moves less than 51 base power get +1 crit, and moves under 26 base power get a +1 priority as well. Now I know having to use such weak moves negates the crit bonus, but it also gets Technician, so these moves are that much better than they seem. Fury Swipes takes advantage of all of these boosts and is Stab. Throw on a loaded dice and its base power is between 120 and 150, and each hit has a good chance of critting. A move this powerful with +1 priority is insane. Just try to avoid Rocky Helmet or Rough Skin Pokemon. Persian is a really great matchup against any non-Ghost, Steel, or Rock type. And you can still run Shadow Claw, so Ghosts won't wall it out completely. Kilowattrel is a Pokemon that doesn't look impressive on the surface. Its really low stats won't impress you. 125 in speed is great, but no defense of any kind, and 105 special attack is less than ideal the further you go. But Kilowattrel is a hidden gem. It can be used in two ways, with its Air Blower ability setting up Tailwind on entry, and Volt Switch allowing it to leave and set it up again later. It's a great assist Pokemon, letting the others on your team thrive. Its other use is actually with its power, and it can actually sweep teams. That's all because of its broken ability, Impulse. Impulse will use the speed stat to calculate damage for all of its non-contact moves, basically raising its special attack to 125. Paired with Terminal Velocity, which uses 20% of its speed stat for special attacks, and Kilowattrel hits really hard. Agility can now be used to double its speed and essentially its special attack in one turn. Give it a Focus Sash since it's so fragile, and it's ready to demolish teams. Hurricane and Thunderbolt are amazing stab options. If you're worried about a priority move finishing it off, Shockwave actually has +2 priority and is powerful enough to one-shot a Pokemon. Swift can also be used in this way if they're a ground type. Kilowattrel can be great in singles, but when you give it the right partner, it can be even scarier in double battles. If you need one more Pokemon to round out your team, Kilowattrel is a great pick. So those were 5 buffed Pokemon you need on your team. Have you ever used one in your playthrough, and what are some other overlooked Pokemon you've had success with? Check out my other videos like this one to see if I've covered them there. Don't forget to subscribe for more. Shout out to all the members. I will see you in the next one. Peace.